everybody, welcome to Dakman Productions and welcome to Hay Rail. If you're subscribed to my channel, you probably see me post on my community tab a photo of a Cargill facility I just built. Everything on this side of the layout is all either a kit or scratch built. I wanted something for my corn syrup tank cars because I've been buying corn syrup tank cars only because there is 2 factories in my town that make beverages that require corn syrup cars delivered to them. However, not every factory has railroad tracks going to it like the 2 that are in my town. So I ran across a photo of a corn syrup transfer facility, and here's the photo here. Okay, so a transfer facility is where rail cars come in with corn syrup. They get shoved into a siding. The tank cars fill up storage tanks in which trucks come in, and it gets transferred to the truck, and the truck makes the delivery instead of the train. So that's how that works. So we'll take a look at this corn syrup facility. So I learned from going to train shows and looking at other high rail club layouts. They cut scenery off. And so you get the gist of what's going on, even though the scenery is mostly cut off. So that's what I did here. We have a roadway that's going to come across this way, and of course it's not there because I cut it off. And then there's a driveway that comes in to the corn syrup facility where the truck has to back into and get the corn syrup transferred onto the truck itself. And the sign I made with foam core and 2 round wooden dowels available from Michael's or Walmart Arts and Crafts, and I printed out the logo for it, and then of course the corn syrup transfer facility part of it I put down in there. But I did that photo that I just showed you. Actually, that building, I didn't have room for a building, but the building actually says transfer facility right on it. So here's another view of it. Now this fencing is not Woodland Scenics. It's somebody who scratch built the fencing and was selling it on eBay. Then Woodland Scenics came along and started offering fence, but it is not Woodland Scenics fencing what you're seeing here. The Cargill storage tanks I made from Granger shipping tubes, believe it or not. I built them to 14 inches, and the ladders I'm finding for detail parts, because I do want to put ladders on these, are actually 12 inches. So if I guess I should have researched that before I built the facility to make them 12 inches instead of 14, but live and learn. The tubing or the piping that you're seeing on the front of the Cargill storage tanks, it's not perfect, but you know, it is what it is. But it's made with the big piping is made with bendy straws, and the little nipples sticking out are made from coffee stirring straws, believe it or not. So that's how I built that, and then eventually I'm going to buy real small, thin black wire to represent the hose coming off of them to pipe into the tank cars to offload them. And so that's how I built this. And I used a piece of Luan for the base and painted it gray to represent a cement pad. The truck I'll eventually either buy another one or just go ahead and relabel this one for corn syrup. Of course, you wouldn't put food products into a truck that originally hauled gas. I crack myself up sometimes, but I got the idea for the corn syrup facility because, like I said, I have all these corn syrup cars that I've been buying, and I really wanted somewhere to switch into. I mean, I have seen high rail layouts create oil refineries, and that's already been done. I've seen quite a few scenes with those, and they're cool and stuff. And I do have a unit train of line of 30K ethanol cars, but I wanted something different, something that I don't think anybody's built yet. And I think, and I believe so, that I'm the first one to build a corn syrup transfer facility. So maybe Menards might copy it and offer it later on in a much better version, but I would buy it. But anyway, so I enjoyed this, and so we're going to go ahead and bring a train in. Alright, so what we got today is we got a more modern train. We got a Norfolk Southern Heritage Conrail unit and lead, Norfolk Southern Penn Central Heritage unit trailing. Alright, we gotta drop off or cut our EOT car and our buffer car. And normally you wouldn't need a buffer car for corn syrup cars because it's non-hazmat. But the tank cars ahead of it are hazmat, so we do need it. Alright, we have them staged on our siding now. Now we can cut out the corn syrup cars from these hazmat cars. Now normally there would be a flagman here because this is a crossing with no lights. I gotta get another figure. I do have one over on the other side of the layout, so I just need one more flagman figure. Now we gotta pick back up our buffer car and our EOT car, and we'll be on our way. By the way, coupling speeds is 5 miles an hour max. I've seen videos of guys, you know, shifting around cars and coupling up to them like 100 miles an hour. Realistically, your coupling speed's only supposed to be 5 miles an hour. Now we're just dropping off these corn syrup cars to the Cargill Transfer Facility, and I want to answer a couple of questions that I've gotten in the past. First question is, can you couple a tank car directly to a locomotive? Yes, as long as it's hauling non-hazardous materials. So since these are corn syrup cars, these could be coupled directly to the locomotive without a buffer car. When you have to worry about a buffer car is when you have hazardous materials on a tank car. Then you need a buffer car. Even when they're empty, most railroads will run the buffer car anyway because of the leftover residue and the vapor that's in the tank car is just as explosive and hazardous as the material that was in there. When I was doing my switching video, I was switching off of these two main lines here, and I had a couple questions. And so somebody had asked, would you be switching on a main when there's trains coming? So how switching is done is depending upon how the main lines are set up. So if this is a dual main line where one train can bypass the other, and I think they call that a rip track. So what would happen is the train would get on the rip track, and then the train could bypass it on the main line. Rip tracks would be used for storage of freight cars, or to drop off freight cars that would be delivered to another industry a few miles down. Usually the rip track or the siding tracks are not built with the same type of rail. It'd be a lighter rail, the way it's constructed in steel. But if this wasn't a dual main line, if it was a single line, first the engineer would need to get permission to get out on the main line. Once he did, there would be a light signal a few miles down the track to stop the trains from coming, either a light bridge or some type of signal that would hold the train where it's at until he got his switching done. Once he got his switching done, he would radio back, okay, he's done, and then they would turn the light back to, so the train moved forward again. So hopefully that was helpful. So I hope you enjoyed my video of my Cargill Corn Transfer Facility. I'm not any craftsman, I keep saying that. I just make something that, you know, looks like a tenor, we say in South Jersey. Looks good from 10 feet away or more. And I'm happy with it. So that's the end result. Is if you want to construct something or make something, don't be afraid to do it. You're not pleasing other people. You're pleasing yourself. And if you don't try anything because you're afraid of what other people are going to say, then you're actually losing out. So don't be afraid to experiment. If it doesn't come out well, I mean, you can always do some more research or rebuild it later, or there's a ton of options out there that you can do. So yeah, this part of the layout I really got into. This is my first time scratch building anything using recycled materials. So this was like a perfect opportunity for me to try a little bit of that out. And like I said, it's not perfect. I don't intend it to be. And once again, it's a facility that I have not seen done on any O-gauge layout. And I'm pretty happy that I have a place to deliver my corn products tank cars to. Okay, we'll catch you next video, and we'll see you guys around. Bye.